you know, we're on our healthy healing. We are very much doing a little soul care and some reminders, some friendly reminders, right, Lolita? Some friendly reminders. We're just trying to remind the girls, right? You're not gonna try me and you're not gonna fucking disrespect me and I'm nobody's punk. Like, girl, if you put that energy into finding a job, maybe you might fucking have one. I am addicted to creating fake scenarios. I am delusional. This is my world and you're living in it. That's why I'm like, don't sit here and think that I'm just like, oh my god, yes, I'm admitting that I'm just like completely delusional and everything is always my fault and every conflict I ever got into was completely my fault. No. Have to? Do you have to be right here? I don't want it to be too bright in here while I'm trying to talk. Okay. First of all, well, this time I don't think my lace is coming up. No. Get down. I'm tired of talking to you. What I was gonna say was my hair is looking brittle. I just took it out of the thing. But I just want to talk to y'all and have a moment of realness because okay, I'm gonna be real, okay? We're gonna just get into it. Things required to be real, the Bible. I have a series of journals here, you know, our diary of 11 years, so we're gonna get into it. What I wanted to just start off saying is that I am delusional. I feel like I am addicted to creating fake scenarios. Addicted to creating fake scenarios. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I am to a degree delusional. Disclaimer though, I'm not narcissistic, okay? I'm gonna fucking say that and I'm gonna clear that up because I just feel like that's a common misconception when you're describing a very self-aware person like myself. Let me just Google what the fuck narcissistic means because, you know, I can't stand when no whack ass bitch calls me some shit her bitch ass probably can't even spell, bitch. People word on the street your mommy's narcissistic. Is that true? Is that true? She put her head in my lap. She's like, no, how fucking dare they? Exactly, Lolita. A narcissist is someone with an excessive unhealthy interest in or admiration of themselves. It's a lack of empathy, an excessive need for admiration, and a sense of entitlement. Struggle with deep-rooted identity and self-esteem issues. They often relate to others by attempting to control, manipulate, or diminish them in order to feed their own ego. Bitch, I don't do that shit. I don't do that. It's not just like, oh, I think about myself a lot. I think highly of myself. Narcissism is more like, how do I maintain like superiority? How do I get admiration from everybody? Like, how can I protect my ego and not consider the egos of others? That is the kind of shit that a narcissist does and is, according to the fucking internet. In every instance, I can own my accountability. I can totally acknowledge where my ego has places of being large and where it's diminished. I ask questions like, am I the problem? How do I heal? Person trying to figure out how to surrender to God, how to not be so negative and have negative impacts on the world. So it's not always easy to exemplify that. I just want to take time to acknowledge and be proud of myself and say, I know that I've grown from a lot of things, and I know that 5 months ago, some shit would have happened and bitches would have gotten a whole different completely reaction out of me. And years ago, bitch, we don't even want to talk about what type of reaction you might have gotten out of me. Narcissists usually experiences shame when they're exposed. You can call my shit out and it can be that. If I'm offended, you'll know. Yes, going back to my central point, just the umbrella term, I would say, of being delusional. I will say I'm delusional for the case of, especially the part where it's like you insert an idea about someone into a scenario that doesn't really, like, that person doesn't even fucking exist. So you're making that up in your head, like you're an idiot. But obviously I'm not gonna sit there and say that every situation, like, I know that there's some situations that I don't know, right? But once I come up with what I come up with, simply because if you gave me the room to do so by lying to me, I'm probably always gonna take that kind of shit exactly how I take it, and I really don't care what you say about it. It's like I do this with drama, I do it with lust, I do it with self-idolatry. Is it idolatry? idolatry. I don't know how to say it for real, but I have that problem. Idolatry, oh my god, I low-key want to just like look it up, because if I keep saying it and I keep saying it wrong, that's gonna piss me off if I like edit this and figure out it's different, but whatever. To idolize thyself, like I do it to a degree, but it's also more like self-absorption, but we'll talk about that, right? I just want to also say, I just think it's important to be real with yourself, willing to fix and correct said behavior. It is something that probably close to everybody does. I'm not even here to like point fingers at nobody or anything, literally, but to myself, and not even in a way of me bashing myself, because I don't want it to like come off that way, but genuinely just taking accountability for the kind of person that I've noticed that I have become. It ain't like it happened overnight. Like I've kind of been this person for some time now, for probably exactly 10 years, because when I was 14, that kind of was when my attitude really took a turning point for the worst. When I talk about like fake scenarios, if you're wondering like what's that mean, when creating fake scenarios, it can boil down to like anything. Like I might sit there and rehearse an argument. I might, like before I go to sleep, like think about like, I'm used to, let me just be real, being in relationships where like wake up time, go to sleep time are times for like intimacy. And when I'm going to sleep, some days I'm just like in a lustful state of mind. It doesn't really matter how I quench that thirst. It does, it totally does matter, quenching it with every damn body. I'm not gonna do that, but obviously things like masturbation, things like fake scenarios where you insert people into certain narratives that you would like to happen. And the other day I went to sleep in that state of mind. I wasn't even thinking about this one person, and bitch, I had the audacity to dream about a punk I'm trying to forget about. Like I was so annoyed with that. And it's like, you know why? You need to address the root of why the fuck you even result to that, or what in your brain attributes like whatever you're fantasizing about. Like you just really need to get to the root of it, and I've been trying to do that. Get off the couch. Fake scenarios. It's a way to kind of like pre-live my life and not even relying on astrology. I am Aquarius, okay? I am the future, bitch. I see the future. I feel like I'm a Pisces moon too, so I feel like I'm very intuitive actually, but I'm really not even talking about like on a psychic level or anything. I just feel like it doesn't take much for me to see a situation and then piece two and two together, or meet people and be able to like accurately discern what type of person they are, or if I expect a certain outcome of a situation. And yes, the law of expectation is real, you know, the law of manifesting and self-fulfilling prophecy, those things are real, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of times where I'm just like, I don't know what it is, but I just know it's some weird shit, or I'm able to call it exactly what it is, and I be right. See, some people would see me say like see the title of this video and be like, oh my god, I'm glad this bitch wants to admit it. Okay, there's things that I will no longer take accountability for, because I'm a kind of person that takes a lot of accountability, and I will like over assume accountability sometimes where other people forget where they fucked up. I'll allow a lot of things to pile up and offend me or piss me off or hurt my feelings, especially is usually when this kind of reaction comes out, and I will let shit build up and let it build up and let it build up, and then the slightest thing might happen or an argument might ensue, and once I determine that like this is a relationship not salvageable, like I get very nasty and cut the fuck throat. Like, and I'm gonna be honest, like in my past relationship I definitely went there a little bit. I didn't act how I felt like I needed to act. In my opinion, I was almost completely a doormat in that situation till I decided to do something that, in my opinion, just gave myself a security blanket, and then I was completely judged and eradicated for that as well. And I don't fucking know him, but like at the same time, now there's lies circulating about me and things like that, so it makes it harder for one to get over something like that. But even down to relationships with friendships and family and stuff, sometimes I hold on to things. A lot of times I hold on to things, and I'm just more comfortable with having the grudge against you than, you know, not even talking it out, because sometimes I confuse the way I say like, oh, I'm always down to talk it out and like hash things out. Sometimes I confuse that with just being purely confrontational. You're not even expecting the possible outcome of reconciliation. Sometimes you just want the drama, and something's fucking wrong with you. You need to figure it out. And so with that, like I said, with the fake scenario thing, when you're sitting up there rehearsing arguments and practicing drama, like, what type of Christian are you? Like, let's say you fall for someone and you keep trying to substitute the idea of who you want them to be into the picture and ignoring completely how the fuck they actually are. Another example of fake scenario and like being addicted to creating those. Again, that is something that a lot of people do. A lot of women I know, especially, like, we do that a lot sometimes, and it's too... The fridge is always trying to make a fucking scene. That's why I'm like, don't sit here and think that I'm just like, oh my god, yes, I'm admitting that I'm just like completely delusional and everything is always my fault and every conflict I ever got into was completely my fault. No, I contribute to every conflict that I've gotten into, absolutely. And some things I wouldn't even apologize for in my life because it was how I felt at the time, and that's as real as I knew how to be at the time. You know, it's me picking up my phone while I'm sitting here recording. Like, how rude. Okay, in 1 John chapter 2 verse 16, it says, for all that is in the world, and the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of his life is not of the Father but is of the world, right? I think that I'm very self-absorbed. I think that I'm a gorgeous girl, and what pisses me off about it and how I know that it is something that needs to change, or my framework needs to change around it, is because I'm gorgeous, yes, right? I am confident. I'm one of the more confident people that people usually know in their lives because of the things that I say, and you can tell by really the way I carry myself. But like, I know, and like, there are some people that actually know. Like, if my ex was to say to someone like, yeah, she acts fucking confident, but like, she's insecure as fuck. Like, when we were together, he would try to be like, I don't see that at all. Like, you know, but like, me saying it, like, I definitely have opened up to people about this. So it's not like I'm in denial or there's something about me that I don't realize about me. I very much realize where my insecurities lie. A few of them are physical, but a lot of them, right now in this age, a lot of them are financial. But overarching, it's just more like morally. Like, I'm almost morally insecure because I just feel like if you want to do better and you want to be better, what type of disservice are you doing yourself to sit up every day and not? And so I get attached to the things that I can't control, like my looks, like, and not even so much so, like, you see me get on camera all the time looking a mess. I don't care. Like, I'm in some headspaces where I'm just like, I don't care, my armpit's hairy, and what the fuck are you gonna do about it? Like, nothing. This is my world and you're living in it. It's like, if you would love to pride yourself on being the kind of woman that's together all the time, and when I'm saying together all the time, I'm not just talking about like put on all the time. The impact that you have on the world, if you're not giving it your best every single day, how dare you sit up and complain about your day? Like, have you done everything to change it? Have you done anything to advance your perspective on anything? Like, some people might be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what does your looks have to do with like your perspective? But like, a lot. Like, if you get into it with your ex-man's bitch and she's uglier than you, of course you're gonna be like, shut the fuck up, ugly ass bitch. Like, maybe he don't like her because she's pretty. Like, maybe he actually likes the person that she is. Can you say the same? What does that have to do with anything? And you know, there is a part of my brain that totally understands what it has to do with it. Like, you know, I don't believe that either, but like, whatever. That's an example, obviously. I need to not be so self-absorbed. I think that a lot of times in a lot of situations, in a lot of conflicts, I don't want other people to necessarily empathize with me. Like, I'm totally okay if you don't, we don't have to agree. But at the same time, I personally am very self-oriented on me and what I feel and how I think. Or if something is done to me, I'm just like, so what does that mean that they think about me? It's like, you don't even really care about what they think about you. So you're just concerned about the fact that it's you as the subject, so you just want to know more because what about me? I don't even know if that makes sense, but it's just like, I'm absorbed with the idea of me, and it's hard not to be, honestly, in my life. People spotlight shit that I fucking do all the time. Like, other people can get away with shit, and if I do it, it's a problem. But that's not always everybody in your life trying to do that to you. Like, sometimes that's just the energy that you carry. Like, sometimes your effect on people, and the words that you put out there like not only have an impact on the people around you, but they have an impact on your life and the energy that you carry around as well. Isaiah chapter 50 verse 4. The Lord God, when it does the God and the hath thing, I literally start stuttering, I'm sorry. The Lord God hath given me the tongue of the learned, that I should know how to speak a word in season to him that is weary. He wakeneth me morning by morning, he wakeneth mine ear to hear as the learned. That was the hardest sentence I ever tried to get out of my mouth. The Lord has opened my ear, and I was not rebellious, neither turned away back, right? When I first annotated that, literally it's off the top of my head with me thinking that this is the solution to, because what I'm trying to do, and even admitting this, is heal from why I do the sick shit that I do. So I'm gonna be sick of my life, right? If you know better to be anointed enough and have a little bit more discernment than the next person your age to know why you're facing the things that you're facing, or why you're in this situation, or what you contribute to the situation, why don't you just listen and act like you know, move like you know? You sit there and still know what's right and study what's right and what's wrong, and then sit there and put yourself in a position that doesn't paint you as the best person, but genuinely leave you in peace. You'd rather go back and forth with a bitch. Part of my brain is like, people should be fucking grateful I don't say and do more, one. But then the other part of me is like, did you have to say anything at all? Because now, not only have you exerted a level of your energy, which is a big part actually. A couple chapters down, Isaiah chapter 55 verse 2 says, wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. Obviously the analogy is not just talking about money, bread, and actual food, right? But where the hell do you exert your energy? Like, considering that and actually making alterations to that, when you realize that you're pouring energy or money into things that don't actually serve your soul no purpose, even if it serves it purpose, because where I've gotten confused is just like, I find healing and love to romanticize my pain. I'm a Scorpio rising. I love a good moment of change. Like, if I knew that I could fully just pay my rent, I wouldn't give a fuck about not having a job. I know I would find a better one, and I genuinely do trust that. It's just like, timing is of the essence, because rent and our economy is like out of control. Like, I need to have, you know, sustenance, yes, but it's like, you're not so worried about just having sustenance when you are completely out of whack and completely absorbed in drama. I've done myself a disservice to know better and not do better. Sit up and even surround myself around people that I know are the exact same way. And yes, use that whole thing of, well, I'm not judging, like, I'm not better than anybody. Because I used to be told that I walked around with a posture like that when I was a child. And it's like, how the fuck is that the case? Like, I just recognize that I don't want to roll in grass. Like, what the fuck? That's okay. I can do that. I can make that decision. But as an adult, I don't even think I'm better than anybody, and I feel like I've seen things happen in like family members' lives where I'm just like, I'm not above that. Like, I come from a family where people do things, and for me to grow up and think that I'm above this or should be better than that, like, why the fuck would I do that? It's obviously the wrong way to think. If you are naturally just not like that, you don't have to force no demeanor onto yourself to stay in any toxic situation. I don't care if it's a relationship, a family ship, a friendship, like, it doesn't matter. You don't have to impose that kind of shit on yourself. And I recognize where people might feel like that about me, and I encourage them to get the fuck out of my life. Essentially, when you are about to cut down your own life and you're just gonna continue to burn bridges around you, like, ain't nobody gonna waste time building bridges with you. And that's fine, because I'm the kind of person that will eventually figure out how to build my own bridge. That's for damn sure. But when it comes down to actually letting things go and learning how to like stop engaging in the drama and the bullshit, it's hard for a person like me, because I feel like I'm not above it. I feel like I'm from where I'm from, but the dynamic that I was born into definitely factors into my life. The grit that I have isn't for no fucking reason. You're not gonna try me, and you're not gonna fucking disrespect me, and I'm nobody's punk. But you don't have to be. Surrender it to God, and you let God handle that. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment shall condemn. I'm not gonna allow the covenant of my peace to be removed from me because I want to keep picking up the same bullshit. So like, I am genuinely trying to work on that as a person. Choosing forgiveness over being right all the time is something that I'm also learning and want to be transparent about. It's not that people didn't do it, or it's not that like they didn't offend me first for me to cut so deep, right? But at the same time, I don't have to be right in every situation. And I do realize that. I'm okay with being wrong, but sometimes I get caught up in being wrong, where I'm just like, okay, now I'm just gonna focus on what the fuck my point is. Like, yes, I might have done this to you, but you're not paying attention to what you did to me, and because of that, I'm not gonna fucking like change or try to like rectify the behavior. That's not okay. I do recognize and am trying to acknowledge within myself like where these things hurt me and offend me, and where I can do better at articulating myself a little better and allowing myself the space to feel, move on, and it heal, you know? Because I think like in a lot of situations, I give myself a set amount of time to be upset, and then when things deviate from that, like when drama finds my fucking DM, yeah, you're gonna awaken something in me that's just not gonna be nice. It's not gonna be pretty, and I never would promise that it would be. I've always declared, like, if this kind of shit goes on, you know why? Because I've rehearsed arguments, and I've already rehearsed the possibility of some shit like this going on and exactly what the fuck I'm gonna say. And then I get out there and say the craziest, most hurtful thing you could say to a person, and it's like, so you've been brewing on that? You thought it through, and you still said that shit? And when I do that, it's honestly a defense mechanism. Obviously, it's a learning slope, but I'm not going to be taking accountability for things that people do to me and their reaction on my reaction. What I'm trying to learn how to control is my reaction, and if I don't solicit one to you, I was mild. So it makes me feel like, God, you want me to continue to sit here and let people make me feel away and not take accountability, and then them to go talking shit about me and slandering my name all across town like it's cool? Like why would you want to give someone the reaction that they think they want to receive? Why would you want to even expose someone to the meanest, nastiest side of you? Like, are we operating out of love or what? Miss Christian lady, sit here and just be cool. My support pet. When I have reactions like that, in my opinion, I am exercising a defense mechanism and trying to protect my heart, right? And it comes off wrong at times, and sometimes it lands exactly how the fuck I want it to. But the whole thing is, our hearts are not to be trusted. I be thinking that I am protecting my heart, but usually it is just providing the perfect platform for bitterness and for me to hold on to some shit for too long. In Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 9, you know what God says about the heart? The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? And I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, and even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings, right? The Lord really knows our hearts. The Lord really knows our hearts, and we sometimes, when we might not know each other's, we might not know our own. You might not really understand where your heart posture is lying until God puts you in a position to pretty much show it. You know, the fruits that you bear say a lot about the kind of person that you are in general and the kind of person that you are in Christ. With the heart being deceitful, as God says, desperately wicked, we cannot trust ourselves to just run forth with our heart on the line. Like, that's just not, no. Heart is 100% capable of lying to you just to satisfy your ego or to satisfy your flesh or whatever it is. I mean, a lot of times I think when you depending on what type of flesh satisfaction that you're doing, like sometimes you just disconnect from things like your heart. You're just doing it for the fun of it. You're just doing it for the dopamine hit. No, there's definitely a thing in a covenant called marriage. There are children. There are so many beautiful things to have love and have your heart filled with, right? But what we neglect is when it's not filled enough with God, the things that it can fill itself with, tell itself like, this is what I need and this is what I'm craving and my heart yearns for it. And you look up and one day you realize that you've completely self-destructed, and you can be mad at everybody else, but let's be real, you did this to yourself. Definitely the kind of life that I live, and I've been knowing that part, but would like to practice better movement where it pertains to the idea that the spirit that you feed is the spirit that grows the largest. Ready to step into acting like I know that. Part of me has been isolating for some time now and just been like, okay, well, if you don't be around me, you ain't gotta deal with my bullshit, bitch. And yes, absolutely true, 100%. But I'm gonna come across I have relationships like this in my life already, and I'm gonna come across even more that will serve me a beautiful purpose and will deliver me beautiful lessons that don't always involve pain. In case I decide to pick some up, bitch, you don't just sit there and decide to self-isolate and just go into a spirit of, oh, let me just work it out on my own. So you need to handle your shit, take accountability, learn from it, heal from whatever it is that got you even acting like that in the first fucking place, and move on. So that's what I'm working on. But at the end of the day, everything's connected. You know, it's under one vessel, and when you go impacting others, like, now you got bigger fucking fish to fry. My fish fry is mostly internal, but you know, I've definitely earned a reputation out here. I hope that if you're in a position like me where you just feel like all you do is wreak havoc and you just are so self-destructive, and when it gets to a point of too much, it pours outward and it affects other people. We are supposed to be impactful in this world at the end of the day. You just want to monitor and make sure that it's not always coming from such a negative place. And if people are constantly in your life making you feel bad about you, sometimes it's not just you. Like, sometimes it's okay to pull yourself away from a crowd, step back, take time to really go silent and really allow yourself to heal, but attempt to hear and really learn the voice of your Father, so that you're not misguided by all these other voices that may or may not know what they're talking about, may or may not be onto some shit, but at the end of the day, they have their own life and you cannot rely on anything that has to be held up. That's also in the Bible. Some questions that are kind of like helping me right now with just acknowledging why I do the things that I do, why I am so toxic to myself and then outwardly toxic to other people. When it comes to you know, repeating scenarios in my head and allowing myself to absorb any energy or say any words that kind of go against where my soul is trying to go, I'm gonna ask myself, are you remembering or are you rehearsing, bitch? Because which one is it? Number two, what makes you safe right now? So just being able to analyze and really acknowledge, like, okay, maybe this isn't going so right for me right now, maybe I did not like what they did, but what is going good for you right now? Like, do you always have to complain? I hate that about myself, honestly. Since I was a kid, my mom used to be like, you're just a complaining ass motherfucker, and I'm just like, yeah, I like to complain. I admit it, I like to complain. But these are the kind of things that I've just grown comfortable with in my personality, and it's like, you need to stop being like that. Like, stop complaining about everything. Take time to enjoy life. And I just do more of saying the negative shit than I do the positive, and like, that's not okay. So we're owning that and we're gonna work on that. Last question, are you being a detective or are we building something? So that is vague, but it's not. I don't do a lot of stalking present day, even down to like doom scrolling on social media and stuff. It's like, you're on whatever blank mission that you're on, and it's like, are you really building mental blocks that are actually going to help you get somewhere and help you achieve your purpose, or are you kind of just like absorbing the abyss? We don't bite the Bible. We don't do that. We do not do that. Puts monitoring that and just really taking the time to analyze what it is that has you so caught up in whatever mental loop and whatever like cycle that you're spinning on. It's like a hamster wheel. Is it paying you? Is it getting you into heaven any quicker? No? Oh, okay, well then probably fucking critique that shit and go find something productive to do. My favorite part of this journey, or exploration I should say, so no, there was 4. Number 4 is, what am I spending emotional currency on? Because again, we read that part of the Bible where he talks about like, what are you gonna spend your money on? Like, you got this bread, you got this, like, what are you doing with your money, right? Really taking time to really analyze where I put my energy and the things that I choose to sit there and think about at a leisure. Like, girl, if you put that energy into finding a job, maybe you might fucking have one, but whatever. And some reminders, some friendly reminders, right, Lolita? Some friendly reminders. We're just trying to remind the girls, right? A friendly reminder. Say it. Say reminder. So this is where I'm going to remind myself to, number one, tolerate unresolved feelings better. I need to just be okay with the fact that shit happened the way it happened, and it is what it is, and I need to let it go. Like, whatever. A lame bitch is lame, and you leave them right where the fuck they lame at. Number two, to replace investigation with action. I'm not even talking about social media investigating, because if you know me in real life, you know I get like that, okay? I will find any piece of information I need to find, so that's not even the problem. I don't really have to do that no more so lately, because I don't really talk to nobody romantically. And if something about my ex pops up on something, I indulge a little bit, and then I feel bad for doing that, and I'm over it. His hoes either like stalk me from something private and random, or I'm blocked. And as I should be. Number three, to name the emotion, not the story. From like, that really hurt my feelings and I was really offended at that. Versus, okay, and that fucking bitch went out and fucking said that she did this and she actually did this, and then she went and talked about me with this bitch. Like, you know, no need to relive and rehash the shit every time it comes up. A simple thing to say where the acknowledgement is put out and the responsibility is taken by parties who are not even there. It hurt your feelings, and move on. And then lastly, number four is to stop treating your feelings like unresolved tasks. I do that a lot. I'm just like, okay, I just went through this, it's gonna take me some time to get over that, and I'm just gonna, you know, make sure I take my time, and just when it's time to not have that energy no more, I'm just not gonna, no, like, it's feelings, okay? Acknowledge them, treat them like what they are, real. Don't bask in it. And going up to number two, name the emotion and not the story, and move on. I said number two, I mean number three, but move on. Like, at least I have more than probably a few verses that have kind of sustained me and are going to help me get through this transition. From Proverbs to Isaiah to Matthew to Romans to Zechariah to John to a few in Psalms, a few in Isaiah, honestly. And I'm going to put them all in the description box for you, because I've been talking for way too long anyways. I have to get ready for my tomorrow, and Lola needs to get off this damn couch. I've been nice to her. So it is with great hope that you can blossom and move on and be like me, a nice healthy mother to a baby, and not be basking in no drama, because I'm a mother. No drama. I feel like the sun is so nice right now. You know, in the name of the Holy Spirit, I hope that everything works out for you. I wish and hope that soon I can get to the point of like praying on camera, but you know, I'm not performative about my, and here we go with the freaking focus. I'm not performative about my journey with God, and I struggle to pray in general just when I'm sitting by myself. So I'm not gonna get online and be like, let's bow our heads. I would love that. If you have a prayer for me, definitely drop one. But yes, I love you. I think you're amazing. I think you're cute. I think you're gorgeous. And I think that I need to not worry about me being cute or gorgeous or anything. I need to just like work on the innards. Isn't that right? We need to work on our insides. Right? We need to work on our insides. Because sometimes we can be bad juju. Right? Is that right? You're so tiny, you're so baby, you're so and praise the Lord and be safe out there, okay? All right, bye.